There is a limit on any transducer to the amount of energy it is able to discharge. A too high voltage for a prolonged period can build up a very high acoustic pressure and can cause cavitation in the system. Now, due to this cavitation, acoustic pressure is not effectively be getting transmitted, and it can cause vaporization of the water molecules on just the face of the transducer, which can form gas bubbles on it and even damage the transducer itself. The other factors that influence our system prominently, one is the multipath. Well, the multipath can be adjusted by the beam width, the pulse length, and also the frequency. Now, the other prominent issue which also causes the multipath is the out of the range return. So the best thing, as mentioned earlier, is to have a appropriate range or depth setting in our system. Then there is another issue of inconsistent time delays. Now, this PPS system or the time delays is just another interesting topic which we will pick up some other day. Now, before we conclude, let's ponder on a very small point. Now, when we have to measure the height of an object which is on a seabed and it's come in our graphical display, we just see the shadow and the angle of incident. Well, technically, what we call the shadow is just a blank area with no amplitude returns. To see a shadow, basically we require, let's say on a surface, a source of light to be at a place different or other than the receiver. So let's say the receiver is the eye and a shadow has to be observed. The source of the light has to be on some other place. So it creates a shadow and eye from a different angle is able to view the shadow. But if the eye and the source of light are on the same line, then we cannot see the shadow. With it, I hope it was interesting, a bit intuitive. If there are any comments or any ambiguity you may want to bring up, please free to comment on it. On our next topic, we probably may pick up the convention on sonar specifications that we come across in the brochures of the systems. Now, basically, there are no concrete conventions on solar specification, especially the resolution and accuracy. So, it might sometimes be quite confusing and in some rare cases quite misleading too. So, as a surveyor or survey tech, one has to well decipher these specification brochures and recognize the attainable performance of the system so there is no ambiguity on the task. I hope this was interesting. Take care. We'll see you around.